Transformation Show with me, your host, Sophia, and my guest today is Missy Rose. Missy Rose, DPT, is a somatic healer and feminine embodiment coach. I promise I can speak. Who helps women reconnect with their bodies, soothe their nervous systems, and reclaim their aliveness. Through the wild feminine way, she guides women to transform overachieving into ease, self pressure into self trust, and doing into deeply embodying being. I love that. Welcome, Missy.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Sophia.
Well, you know what? You're going to be able to see this at some point because I have decided I'm going to be clearing now that I am going on to YouTube, people. So you'll be able to not only hear this, but you'll be able to watch. Now, don't ask me when. I'm just declaring that I'm doing it. So it's happening.
Step one.
So you can see all the craziness that's happening here. So, Missy, it is such a pleasure to have you here. And we met before over the phone, and then we met in person just recently, which is so amazing because I don't always have the pleasure of meeting my guests in person.
Mhm.
So we got to meet,
Yes.
and that was lovely. So let's, because I know a little bit about you, but let's get the audience involved here and tell them a little bit about you and how you came to be doing what you're currently doing.
Yes. Okay. I love this question. Um, so I started my career as a doctor of physical therapy, and really I've always had a curiosity and kind of insatiable desire to understand the human body. I have a deep knowledge and reverence for how it works, the anatomy, the physiology, the structure, the function, all the things. And so I spent the beginning of my career really helping people with the alignment of their physical body, right? Their physical vessel. And in the last 20 years, I have humbly come to realize that the body does not exist in a vacuum, right? There's so much more to our alignment than just the bones and the tissues and everything being, in a row. It's really about our head and our heart being in coherence, our mind and our body being integrated in an alignment. And so my practice now has really shifted to be in the focus of somatic healing, which I like to say kind of lives at the intersection of science and the soul.
Mm.
So I've never wanted to abandon the part of me that loves the science. I am a self-declared geek, right? I love reading and knowledge and all of the things. But even for me, there was a point in my personal experience that information and that knowing had to drop out of my head and into my body because I was just kind of like a floating head moving around, right? Like not just for myself, but for my clients. I'm watching these people who are coming to me and trusting me, and I can get them to a certain point, but the stuff doesn't stick unless we really allow it to come down and integrate into our physical bodies. Because so much lives down here, so much wisdom, so much knowledge, so much guidance. And so really now I'm very, very dedicated to sharing, especially with high achieving women. We are so masterful at disembodying to keep moving, right? There's this point where we learn from our culture to value productivity
Yes.
over presence or pleasure or any of the things that our juicy female bodies give us access to. And we just lose that along the way. So I'm very much about guiding women to remember. I always say to the women I work with, I'm not going to teach you anything new, but I'm certainly going to guide you to remember what you already know
Oh,
because it's all here.
okay. Wait a minute. Say that again.
Yeah.
Say
Yep.
say this again.
Yes. I always tell the women that I am blessed enough to be able to work with. I'm never going to teach you something new. I'm just going to guide you to remember what you already know here. A lot of times it's just
Pointing to her heart.
yes. Yes. It's your heart. Yeah. Yeah. There's so much we step over.
Well, I really love a couple of well, I love everything that you said, but a
Mm.
couple of the things stood out. So that one actually stood out a lot, which is why I asked you to repeat it.
Mm.
Because I believe that sometimes we do forget because we are so busy doing and not being that we don't listen to our bodies, number one. And our body always has something to say, and it's always talking.
Yes.
Now, in our head, and we always have voices in our head too. And no, I'm not referring to people who are schizophrenic. All of us, if we admit it, have voices in our head. So
Yes.
it really, and it's not always a nice voice. Sometimes it's a mean girl
Mm.
who's showing up saying things, and sometimes it's sometimes it's actually your parents showing up saying things and you
Yes.
don't realize it.
Yes.
And sometimes it's just a little bit of crazy show.
Absolutely. She has a place in the boardroom too. Yes.
Yeah, so, every now and then you have to ask her to leave, but and I think that leads me to one of the other things you said was floating head,
Yeah.
because I can really relate to that, because I spend a lot of time in my head. It can be a fun and, yes, dangerous place to be, but intellectually, I recognize that I get a lot of things. I understand them. I can relate to them. But when it actually comes to embodying them, that becomes the
Yes.
thing, because I remember for so many years, like, I go to people, like, um, 'cause I've been to different psychics and all the things. And, God bless, some people have really great gift and some people, they tell you that they did.
Yes.
However, I mean, I can't throw shade because we all have free will. So whatever they
Yes.
tell you really is your energy in that moment, and from moment to moment, your energy can shift and you make different choices. So there's that. But I remember not just one person saying, "Your head and your heart aren't in the same place,
Yeah.
and you need to be able to connect it." And it's like, "Okay, wonderful. That's some great information. What the hell am I supposed to do?"
Right. Yes.
Because I'm still in my head. So I'm thinking about it, and it's like, I don't know what to do. And as many times as I've heard, like, people, "Drop into your body." It's like, what the fuck does that mean?
What are you talking about? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sorry to anybody who just got offended that I swore, but I do that from time to time. And I'm really passionate about that whole thing. It's like people will say things, but they don't tell you how.
Yes.
So if you're somebody who lives in your head, you're gonna need a how.
Yes. 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 Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of us get dropped right there. Like, okay, great. Now here's another thing that I'm doing wrong, or I can't do it well enough. So now you just, chalk that up to another thing that we're beating ourselves up over,
Yes,
you know?
exactly. So hopefully during this conversation, you're gonna break down a little bit of how
Yes.
for the women out there who stay in their head, because again, a lot of professional women, a lot of women over 40, because we've been conditioned that way, a lot of high achieving women stay in their head
Yes.
because, well, quite frankly, because you need to.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
You're doing things and you need to get things done,
Mhm.
and somebody's depending on you, and not necessarily family. If it's work, they're depending on you. Your
Mhm.
boss is depending on you. If it's your business is depending on you.
Yes.
So you always have
Yes.
to be doing things. So yeah, you spend a lot of time in your head. What's the
Yes.
strategy?
Yes.
What's the workflow? What's the next thing? And then how do you get into your body?
Yes.
And the other thing that you said that I liked was productivity over presence. So
Yes.
how do you shift that,
Yes.
and not only just get into your body, but know when you're there?
Ooh, that's such a good qualifying question. I love that so much. I wanna go back to one thing that you said. I wanna touch on it because a lot of I wanna be very careful how I say this. a lot of the information and the noise that we're getting around, let's just say feminine energy, right? Like there's a lot of conversation about that, at least in the bubble that I live in, right?
Yeah.
Of like honoring how, we want more feminine energy into our experience. I want to be very clear that I'm not demonizing masculine energy, which is exactly what you just said. And I'm saying the feminine and masculine that lives in all of us.
Mhm.
I'm not talking about gender. The masculine in us is the part of us that can take action and create strategy and create safety and all of those things. We have that inside of us. The art of this, and this is why I love this work so much, is how can I have agency over when I need my masculine energy or when I want to access my feminine energy? How can I move between those two with intention? And that's exactly what you're saying. So if I want to get out of my head, which I would consider more of my strategy, structure, logic,
Mm.
and I want to come down into my body, well, if thoughts are the language of the mind and feelings the language of the body, I want to tune into that. I kind of think of it as like changing radio stations.
Mm.
So I'm now changing the radio station to my sensations. So, really, the easiest way to drop into your body is to become aware of sensation. So, it could be something as simple as I notice the sensation of my clothes on my body, or I notice that it's kind of cold in this room, or I notice that I have to pee. How often are we sitting at the computer for 8 hours, like shifting and not listening to the fact that we have to pee or haven't eaten,
Yes.
right? That's a practice of presence. Can I be in relationship with my body enough to listen to her? She's always talking, and sometimes it's a little whisper like, "Hey, get a drink of water. Hey, go to the bathroom." Or, "Hey, we really need to go outside and get some sun. I'm feeling super depleted." It's being in relationship with your body enough to hear her.
Mm.
And so it's just changing the radio station. What's happening right now from the neck down?
I like that because that makes it simple,
It is
that
simple.
easy, because a lot of things that are simple are not easy,
Yes.
but this is simple and easy.
Yes. It's giving ourselves permission to step out of the programming of, if I get up from the computer and stop being productive for a minute, I'm going to be less valuable as a person. Right?
Mm.
There's a lot of programming that exists in our culture around when we're doing, that's valuable. When we're being, that's kind of a luxury,
Right,
right?
and
That's indulgent.
it should be opposite, really,
Yes.
because when we're being, that's a birthright. That is not a luxury,
Oh, it's a
and
gift. Yeah.
when we're being, then a lot of times we can be more productive,
Yes.
but we don't stop and think about that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, "Oh my gosh, what did I do?" You know? And especially, I mean, if you work from home, there's more flexibility, but then at the same time, what I recognized was a lot of, women that I spoke to, when they started working from home, hashtag COVID, uh,
Yes.
they worked more because it was easy to sit there and keep working.
Yes.
Whereas when you're in the office, it's like, "Okay, I'm in the office, I'm leaving the office,
Yes.
and going home,
Yes.
and then there's home."
Yes.
So, now it was making that delineation and stopping, and I think some people are still in that mode, and then there's also, the hybrid version that a lot of people have to be back in the office a bit now, and it's another shift,
Yes.
and I think every time we have to shift, depending on how you view things, every time you have to shift, you go back into your head.
Yes.
Because now it's like, okay, I have to, now what do I have to do? I have to do this and this and this. And then now this routine has changed. And now, so it's always there's the running list
Yes.
of the things. And then again, then you turn around again and you forget the whole feeling thing.
Yes. Yes. It's a dance for sure. It is a um one of the I would say probably one of the most potent things that I've introduced into my, because to me, I really want this stuff to be accessible for people, right? Like we can get really esoteric and in the woo woo, which makes a beautiful sense if you're a monk in the Himalayas, but we're all living here and trying to make it work, right? So, how can we y- find ways or tools or practices to integrate that maybe when we're moving from the office to home, that we're listening to our favorite music on the way home? That can be a way to start to introduce a little bit of a transition in our body to go from being here to when I don't know about you, but when a good song comes on, I'm going to start like moving my body, right? That's an embodiment practice. Taking a deep breath is an embodiment practice. Slowing down, embodiment practice. These are all like, I think a lot of us, and I know I did before I finally surrendered to it, I thought it had to be a lot harder than it actually is.
Yes, same.
It it's it's almost laughable now how simple the little things are, right? Like small hinges swing big doors. Little tiny things that we do all day can help really cultivate that balance so we don't feel so overwhelmed up here. It's about just finding balance.
And I like that. I guess I hope you guys didn't miss it. 'Cause you just gave us like 3 or 4 different exercises that we can do,
Yes.
but because they're in conversation and they are so simple and
Yes.
easy, they're easy to miss.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
if we had to break it down into, like, 3 tips,
Yes. Yes. Love
1
it.
would be listen to music.
Music over a podcast. Not to say that since we're on a podcast right now, but this is us being here. Music is going to let us be here.
And, okay,
So,
she just pointed at her head and music takes you in your
yeah.
body.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Yes. I remember that we're not on video.
Gotcha. Well,
Not yet.
yeah. 'Kay. Um, okay, and so there was that one, and then moving your body is
Yes.
another one, so that would be number 2,
Yes. Deep breath.
and deep breath, and you can do that anytime because we are
Anytime.
normally breathing, but we take breathing for granted.
Yes.
So a deep breath would be tip number 3.
Yes.
So, in this moment, we're just gonna take a nice deep breath.
I love that.
And amazingly, guys, if you did that with me, just recognize how you feel right now. Do you feel calmer? How does your body feel?
Mm. Yes.
Are there any sensations that are coming up?
Sophia, you're nailing it.
But again, nobody broke it down like that to let you know because sometimes it's okay, so God bless GPS. Because if you spin me around with my eyes closed and I open my eyes, I can get lost.
Yes.
Because my sense of direction isn't the best.
Yes.
A lot of times I have to move on intuition. It's like, I think I need to go this way. And then I just go that way. And, but again, now because of GPS, I see all the turns and I have mine set up so she speaks to me.
Yes.
So she's like, at the next stop sign, turn right. Just
Yes.
like, okay, I can do that.
Yes.
And then when you get to where you're going, she says, you have arrived.
Mm.
So that's that's what I need, right?
Yes.
So even for the body, it's like how that was the question. It's like, how do you know when you're doing it? How do you know when you're being embodied? So these these things that we're talking about, that is how you know. That is that is your brain's cue to say you have arrived.
Yes. Yes. I love the analogy of the internal GPS. We all have it, right? So for me, the analogy of when possible, make a legal U-turn, right? For me, that is when my body does this. Like if I'm feeling all kinds of tense, that's my body saying, when possible, make a legal U-turn, right? Like come back here. This is not natural. It's normal. in our culture to be all tensed and wadded up, but it's not natural. Our natural state is to be present, focused, but relaxed. That stress state is intended for when we're running from a predator, not from when we're, all of the other stresses, or most of them are perceived. They're real, but they're not going to bite you,
Right.
most of them in the moment. And so it's really, all of this is a game of the nervous system. How can I retrain my nervous system to feel safe in this moment enough to slow down, to feel, to be present, to tap into my creativity? All of these things that as women, we're constantly looking for peace out there when it's here.
Right. And these days, a lot of times we hear the phrase protect my peace.
Yes.
But does everybody know what they're protecting? Because does everybody know what peace actually feels like?
Mm, yeah.
And I think peace is going to feel different for different people.
Yes.
But do you know
Mm,
what peace feels like to you?
mm. What a beautiful question.
And maybe you guys, that could be a journal prompt, just saying.
Yeah.
So
And
you can
and
think
I
about it.
yes, and I encourage your listeners when they consider this question, when they're pondering it, I encourage them to answer it with feeling words. What does peace feel like? Because that's an embodied thing, right? Feeling peaceful, like sensations. To me, it's feeling ease and clarity and openness. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's spaciousness in peace, there's possibility. So I think really increasing our vocabulary around sensorial things, what we feel, as opposed to, I think peace would feel like blah, 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 as
Yeah.
opposed to peace feels like.
And I think we really need like a dictionary of feeling words. And
Yes.
I mean, on if you Google it, you can see all the cute little charts and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's almost like there needs to it and maybe this is a gap I need to fill.
Mm.
But when we think about again, you think about feeling words.
Yeah.
But how do you know when you feel it?
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
What are different ways? And maybe that's an interview question that
Yeah.
I start asking women. It's like, what are different ways that you feel peace?
Ooh, I love that question.
Because I know now I'm going all airy fairy on y'all, but
Yeah. Yeah.
because I'm in that I'm dropping into that space,
Mhm.
asking what does peace feel like to you?
And I think it will be really interesting because you're right, it is a very subjective experience. Because for some people, peace is just relief from whatever is stressing them out. It could just be that moment of relief from whatever is worrying us. I think it's a great, great question. You could create a container of questions, I mean, of words, those like feeling words just from that.
Yeah, because it's just so many different things.
Yeah.
I know for me, sometimes when it is completely quiet
Mm.
and I'm listening and I hear nothing but my own heartbeat, that's peace. It's like there's no neighbors, there are no cars, there are no sirens, it's just nothing. And I just sit in it and just like, that
Mhm.
sometimes for me is peace. But even for me, peace is different things because peace isn't always silence for me.
Yes. Yes.
In certain moments, sitting in silence
Yeah. Yes.
is peaceful. Because when I say sitting in silence, I mean when there is no noise, outer noise, but sitting in silence because I am not talking to anybody. I am not talking to myself because I
Yes.
do that all the time.
Yes. Me too.
And just listening to what's coming up. And some people call that meditation.
It is.
Just that simple.
Yes. Absolutely. Just and one of the best permission slips I was ever given from a teacher is that meditation is not about being thoughtless, right? Because that's a lot of times what we think it is. Like, I have to have no thoughts, which is, to be honest with you, physiologically impossible unless you're unconscious, which that's not what we're going for. So but no, to be present with whatever is.
Yes.
No need to fix, no need to change, no need to analyze, to just be with whatever is.
And then one other thing you brought up was clarity,
Yes.
because I know for a fact, because I hear it all the time.
Mhm.
I want clarity. I want clarity. I want clarity.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, we want clarity. And I think that is one of the other questions. How do you know when you're clear?
Yes. Ooh, this one I bump up against all the time, right? Because there's the caveat to that is a lot of us will be like, "I want clarity now." Right now. I want it right now, not 5 minutes from now, not 2 days from now. I want it right now, which that's not always how clarity works,
Right.
right? There's I think one of the biggest pieces, even in the every morning, I have a morning practice where I sit for 10 to 15 minutes. I light a candle, I play some music, I do a little bit of breath work, and I pull an oracle card. And this morning, the oracle card was the Chamber of Surrender.
Mm.
And it was a beautiful reminder of the practice of surrender to trusting oneself, trusting the universe, trusting God, whatever lands for you or your listeners, whatever lands for that person. How can I lean back and trust that I'm taken care of and guided and that clarity is on its way? And that right now I'm clear that this is where I'm supposed to be. And perhaps later I'll be clear on what I want to have for lunch. To me, it's practicing in the little things,
Mm.
right? Can I ask my body, like I just said, what do I want for lunch today? Not where do I wanna be in 10 years from now? That's a big, heavy question.
Yes. Yes.
If if we can practice in, like, the what we would consider not so difficult things to achieve clarity, we're still strengthening the muscle of asking our body what she wants.
Yes. I like that because okay, well, I'm gonna back up a bit. What
Mm.
decks do you use? Because I have a ton of decks. This morning I pulled, and most mornings I pull from my Osho deck.
Uh-huh.
Um, and this morning I got Go with the Flow.
Ooh, yes.
And it's really interesting because y'all can't see me, but I just and I don't know, I'm sure there's an association, but going with the flow, I ended up wearing blue, which kind of represents water. So
Yes.
I'm in this
Yes.
flow.
Yes. This
So
is another embodiment practice that you're saying, even how we adorn ourselves, the fabrics, the colors that we choose, everything is an embodiment practice because our bodies take the shape of what we're feeling. So if you want to cultivate the feeling of flow, wearing blue is a beautiful practice. But to answer your question, I have many oracle decks. I love my decks. Today I chose from a deck by Rebecca Campbell called The Inner Temple. She has many beautiful, beautiful, beautiful decks.
okay, well, since
Yeah.
since we've met in person, okay, sidebar. Since we've met in
Yes.
person, we might have to get together and like share our decks and see which
Yes.
sets we have.
I
Okay,
would love that.
back to our programming.
Yes. Yes.
So again, there is another embodiment practice
Mhm,
is looking at what you wear
mhm.
because there are some days I can put on the same outfit and feel completely different. I could put on the outfit one day and hate it.
Yes.
Like, why did I buy this? And then another day I put it on, it's like, "Oh, this looks so good on me. I
Yes.
like it." So it's so
Yes.
interesting that our moods can also shape what we wear,
Yes.
and what we wear can shape our mood.
Yes.
Because I do know, because I have a dress. I bought the dress online, and I tried on the dress. I'm like, "I don't really like the dress." I can't return the dress. So, I wore the dress. I got complimented on the dress,
Mhm.
and I still hate the dress.
Ah,
So it's something that I'm going to give away
yes.
because I don't like the way I feel in it.
Yes.
So, I'm not even sure how I present in it
Mhm.
because I don't like how I feel in it. I don't
Mhm.
like how I look in it. But yet people compliment me on it. So is that to say that the dress looks good to other people on me and I just don't like it? Or are they actually complimenting my presence because I'm stepping in a certain presence, even though I don't necessarily like the dress? They may be complimenting me on the dress because they like my presence. I don't know. So there's a whole other rabbit hole that I could fall down. And
Yes.
so in order not to fall down that rabbit hole, I'm just gonna give away the dress.
Yes. Which is just as important as, like, that's another piece of GPS from your body, like, "No, this is my no." As women, we also need to practice saying, "No, no, I don't like that dress," even though somebody said I look good in it. Or somebody didn't compliment me in this dress, but I feel fierce, so I'm gonna keep the dress,
Yeah.
right? Like, it becomes an a internal game. I think it's awesome.
And I think isn't all of it though an internal game because we spend so much time looking outside of ourselves for things,
Yeah.
whether it's somebody else's permission,
Mhm.
somebody else's validation,
Mhm.
you know, not wanting to feel rejected, so people
Yeah.
pleasing,
Yeah.
because that goes back to primal.
Mhm.
If I get rejected by the tribe, I will die.
Yes.
And so growing up in your home,
Yeah.
you may have felt that.
Yeah.
If I get rejected by the people that I live with, I might die.
Yeah.
Now would you literally die? I don't know. Maybe there are some people who they probably would.
Yeah.
Are there other people who, no, you wouldn't die
Mhm.
at all? And it's just the story that you made up around something that happened or something that was said. And you decided, or maybe it was behavior that you saw
Mhm.
and you thought, okay, in order to feel safe,
Yes.
I need to please these humans around me,
Yes. Yeah.
and then they will accept me and then I will be safe. So, all the things we can be simple,
Mm.
but then we're like a complex mechanism.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like the cars that they're making now, they're all computerized. Before, one thing could go wrong, you could fix that thing.
Yes.
Now with the car, it's all computerized, it's all integrated. Next thing you know, your car shuts down, but you don't know why,
Yeah.
something went wrong with the motherboard or something went, and it's just all these things,
Yeah.
because the other day I was walking and I saw this thing rolling down the street. Like, what the hell is that? Apparently, it's some self-guided delivery system.
Oh, the little robot thing that delivers the
Yeah,
whatever it is?
and it stopped and then it crossed the street and it was just rolling along. I was like, wow.
Weird.
I remember I mean, now I'm really dating myself, but watching the Jetsons, and
Yes.
all of that stuff was space age, and now it's like it's here.
It's right here. I say that all the time. My daughter doesn't get it because 'cause I'll say the Jetsons, she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'll be I roll my eyes because I feel like a fossil. But you know what I mean? Like, that was all super space age, and it's all right here.
Yeah, yeah, but that's kind of how I feel like sometimes we're rolling, like we're on autopilot,
Yes.
rolling because somebody said this is where we need to go,
Yes.
and we end up doing all the things to please and
Yes.
to be perfect, and to go where they said to go, even if that's not where you're meant to be.
Mm. Yes. Yes, this is the analogy that you gave is so perfect because to me, the nervous system is kind of like our motherboard, right? It's running on a program. In fact, I think the number is like 95% of our thoughts and behaviors are unconscious, meaning it's the exact same thing that we thought yesterday. It's all on autopilot.
Yeah.
And only 5% for most of us is conscious thoughts and decisions and choices that we're making every day. But the rewiring of our nervous system is essentially like doing a software upgrade on a device. And that's what a lot of somatics is looking at. Like, how do I upgrade my software so that when I am, one of my teachers would say, you can't outthink the body, right? So, like, when I'll give you an example in my marriage. If we, we do this work together, so we have a very strong connection and appreciation for this work. But when we're triggered, now I'm an animal again. We're two animals in relationship with each other, and you can't outthink the body in that moment. I'm going to go back to my old habitual ways of showing up.
Mhm.
So if we don't rewire that, then it's just going to be the same again and again and again.
Right.
So rewiring it to me is like the magic, the secret sauce in all of this. And the beauty of somatics is going in and keeping what's working for me and reprogramming what isn't.
So, you've given us some really good tips along the way.
Mhm.
Is there um another easy somatic exercise that
Yes.
we can do? Like maybe something that you might give a client because we're talking about rewiring the nervous system, which yes, breath work really does a good job of that. Meditation can help with that. But I'm sure there's other things because that's your specialty.
Yes. Yes, there's so many things. The body is so incredible and there's so many ways that we can access those points and those ways that we can rewire. So here are my top 3 I will give you. You've already mentioned the breath, which is a huge, huge, huge piece. Number 2 is tracking sensation, and you kind of touched on this in the beginning of our conversation of like actually noticing how I feel moment to moment. So that's the best way to sort of presence ourselves. It might be, like I said, it could be feeling the temperature in the room. It could be looking around and just being very curious. Like I sit in this room for hours a day. And sometimes I'll just look around and notice something different, the way the light's hitting the plants or presencing oneself or coming to your senses is a way to look at it. I'm going to spend the next 60 seconds coming to my senses. The third one that I give every single woman and some guys, dance, move your body, get up. And I'm not talking about like structured dance. I'm talking the kind that we did when we were in diapers and nobody was looking.
Mm.
Like you're just sort of moving your body. One of your guests on a previous episode was talking about the work of Michaela Boehm, who I love as a teacher of mine, um, with nonlinear movement, where you just put a song on and you just move your body however she wants to move. And for some days, that could be stomping my feet because I'm pissed, right? Like there's something I don't want to do, or I have to do my taxes. And I'll put on like rap and I'll stomp and I'll just like do the thing. Or it might be my body needs something a little more soothing. So I'll put on a song that feels like sensual, or um, I might put on Megan Trainor and dance just to be fun, right? So to me, if I could only take 2 somatic practices with me to an island, it would be breath and music.
Breath
It's gonna
and
bring me here.
mm.
It's a bridge. Breath is the bridge always, and music's just like a little, like an amplifier.
I love that. So, if people want to find you,
Yes.
where can they find you?
So they can find me on Instagram at Embody Love to Heal,
And by
or
love to hear.
yes, yeah, or online, missy-rose.com.
Missy-rose.com.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have really enjoyed this conversation. Even having the conversation has just taken me into my person, into
Mm,
my body, and had me be really present
mm,
with it. Even though, yes, I had the thoughts and the questions, but just bringing it down
yes.
and taking the moment to be in the moment has been beautiful.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Sophie. This is so much fun. I always have so much fun talking with you. Mhm.
Okay, well, you know what? I think we will talk again soon.
Yes, I love that.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.